All right. Well, hey, welcome. So we are doing Moses Part 2. A little weird because the kids started the Christmas story today, but we're gonna do Moses, and then the Christmas story starts next week, right?
Yeah.
So it's Moses Part 2.
Won't be as long as last week.
Yeah. Gonna power through it this week. All right. Highs and lows for this week. Got any highs and lows?
I do. I think my low, I'll start off with that, is definitely going to be the fact that I am not doing super great right now with online school. So that is definitely the low. The high is that I already have like this planned out to do better. So that is exciting.
Good. I mean, it is a whole different dynamic, I know, because we've done online schooling for a long time, and just the way you plan yourself, and there's a lot more self-motivation involved than when you're going into class. It's a lot easier to just kind of let things skate, and then all of a sudden you go, "Oh no, I've got all this stuff to do." So
yeah, Chayla's actually, and the crazy thing is, Chayla's been doing this for years now. But her college just went online. Well, not just. She's been doing this for like a month now. But she's struggling with keeping herself motivated to get it all done.
Yeah.
So
she likes being in class, and so even though she's been done online her whole life, really, she's never been in a brick and mortar school until college.
It's true.
So, but yeah. Well, and then I start school in like 4 weeks. No. Yeah, 4 weeks. 4 weeks from tomorrow, back into school. So, woohoo! Mm-hmm. All right, your highs and lows.
So
What'd you say?
Well, my low is just that we made the decision this week to have our out of town guests, like my stepsons and their families, to not come for Christmas this year. So that's a super bummer. So that definitely is a low, big time. And my high is getting ready for niece's birthday. It's next weekend or next week, but we're celebrating like all weekend with her, and so picking her favorite movies and her favorite foods and all that good stuff and fun activities to do. So that's my high.
Yeah. So for me, though, I mean, low is just COVID. It's just that we canceled this trip. It's definitely interfering with things at work, and this week alone, just in the last few days, 3 different families have lost loved ones that we know. It's been a rough COVID week for me. And then the positive, the plus is, I think I talked about the fact that we had a TCS project last week that was canceled. It's back on. So we're super excited to be doing that. It's going to be a radio play of It's a Wonderful Life. And so they're going to record it. I believe remotely. Their person has figured out a way to do that. And then actually we should get the recording tomorrow, and then we'll process it, and it'll be on Sunday the 20th at 7 o'clock, I think, 7 to 8 p.m. And so that's going to be super fun. Oh, there he is.
Hi, Reese. You want to throw in your highs and lows?
Sure. All right. Highs are, I got my community service in this month for National Honor Society.
Woohoo!
So, yeah, I packed some lunches today. I guess my low is I'm out of breath right now. Just ran upstairs. Actually, my low is my high is probably the weather. It's been really nice. It's gonna be really nice the next 2 days too. And then I think my low is we got another week left of school. It's taking so long.
I agree with you.
Like yesterday was Thanksgiving, and it feels like it's going to be another 4 weeks before we get to Christmas.
Yeah. All right. So this isn't responsive, so I will read the leader part, and then you guys are together, so that'll make it a little better. And then you guys can read the group. So you're the group. Okay. Actually, the 2 of us will be the leaders.
Okay.
And then you 2 can be the group. All right.
Sounds good.
So the Lord be with you.
and also with
With
you.
For I am about to create new heavens and a new earth.
The former things shall not be remembered or come to mind.
But be glad and rejoice forever in what I am creating.
For I am about to create Jerusalem as a joy and its people as a delight.
Amen. Okay, there we
That
go.
was fun.
That was fun, actually. All right, what did we talk about last week?
Moses.
Moses, that was good. Yeah,
Yeah.
together in stereo. So we talked about Moses. We talked about the burning bush. Oh, we did the whole deal. We did his
We
birth and the burning bush.
The plagues.
Oh yeah,
Up to
my goodness.
up to the Red Sea. We stopped just as they crossed the Red
Yeah,
Sea.
so that was why it was a big double session, which we're not going to do again today. So
Yay!
yeah. So anyways, yep, that's what we talked about. There we go. So we can see we started. So we got the maps I was talking about last week.
Mhm.
So yep. So when Joseph came with the people, this was the area that Pharaoh gave to them. And so they lived there, and then they were building Ramses, Tanis, Pithom. So they were building these cities in here for the Egyptians at the time that Moses showed up. And of course, we talked about everything, and then they headed out this way through Succoth, and then here, picking up lots of belongings as they went. And then this is where the biblical scholars believe here at that narrow part that they crossed the Red Sea. And so then that's where we're going to pick up the story.
Yep.
Yeah. This week we are continuing with the story about Moses. All right, Reese, you want to read?
You got it. My son, pay attention to what I say. Remember my commands. Listen to wisdom and do your best to understand. Ask for good judgment. Cry out for understanding. Look for wisdom like silver. Search for it like hidden treasure. If you do this, you will understand what it means to respect the Lord, and you will come to know God. The Lord is the source of wisdom, knowledge, and understanding come from his mouth. Proverbs chapter 2, verses 1 through 6.
So Moses led the Israelites away from the Red Sea, or actually kind of along the Red Sea, and into the desert of Shur. It was the Shur Desert. They traveled, there's a lot of jokes there, I'm sure. They traveled for 3 days in the desert. They could not find any water. Then they came to Marah. So interestingly enough, they're walking along the Red Sea, and yet they can't find any water. And that is because the Red Sea is a saltwater body of water, so not drinkable. And so any of the water that they would find too, and it talks about the fact that the water was not good there, highly likely to be brackish and not suitable to drink. All right, Corinne?
There was water at Marah, but it was too bitter to drink. So Moses called to the Lord, and the Lord showed him a large piece of wood. When Moses put the wood in the water became good to drink. There the Lord put in place a law and a command for him, and tested him to see if he would obey. He said to him, I am the Lord your God. If you listen to me and do what I say is right, and if you obey all my commands and laws, then I will not give you any of the sicknesses that I gave the Egyptians. I am the Lord who heals you.
So from Marah, and God did a miracle there, made the water good. Incidentally, Marah means bitter. Side note on Marah, in the story of Ruth, in the book of Ruth, when Naomi's sons die,
And her husband.
she returns to the promised land and tells people to call her Mara because God has brought her bitterness. Yeah. Then they traveled to Elim. At Elim, there were 12 springs and 70 palm trees. So the people made their camp there near that water. So they went from Mara, where they had to, where God had to do a miracle to give them water. Now they're in a place with 7 springs and 70 palm trees, which is significant because potentially the palm trees would produce dates or other fruit. Then all the Israelites left Elim. They reached the western Sinai desert, and they are in between Elim and Mount Sinai. This time, it's not water that's the problem. So potentially they had a lot of food when they left. Plus they had the 70 palms, would indicate that there was food there as well. But they are out of food for 1 million people.
Then the Lord said to Moses, I will cause food to fall from the sky. This food will be for you to eat. Every day the people should go out and gather the food they need that day. I will do this to see if they do what I tell them. Every day the people will gather only enough food for one day. But on Friday, when the people prepare their food, they will see that they have enough food for 2 days. In the evening, quail came and filled the camp, and in the morning, manna was provided.
Manna, interesting word. Anybody know what it means? No? So it's actually Hebrew for...
What is it?
What is it? So they came out of their tents in the morning and they were looking at it and they're like, what is it? And the name stuck. The Israelites left the western Sinai here, and they all traveled from place to place as the Lord commanded. They camped at Rephidim, right there, but there was no water for the people to drink again. So now they're back to the water thing. And the Lord said to Moses, go before the Israelites, take some of the elders of the people with you, carry your walking stick with you. I will stand before you on a rock at Horeb, hit that rock with the walking stick, and water will come out of it. Then the people can drink. So he hits the rock,
And people drink.
and people drink. A big spring came out of it, enough for 1 million people. So, and then more bad news at Rephidim. The Amalekites, who are a nomadic tribe in that area, and a little bit territorial, attempted to attack the Israelites.
And Reese, if you want to read.
So Moses said to Joshua, choose some men and go and fight the Amalekites tomorrow. I will stand on top of the hill and watch you. I will be holding the walking stick God gave me. Joshua obeyed Moses and went to fight the Amalekites the next day. At the same time, Moses, Aaron, and Hur went to the top of the hill. Anytime Moses held his hands in the air, the men of Israel would start winning the fight. But when Moses put his hands down, the men of Israel began to lose the fight. After some time, Moses' arms became tired, so they put a large rock under Moses for him to sit on. Then Aaron and Hur held Moses' hand in the air. They held his hands up like this until the sun went down. So Joshua and his men defeated the Amalekites in this battle.
So anyways, there we go. Rephidim, water, Amalekites. So a couple points here. Number one, they're back in the area where Moses was living. So this was the area where the Midianites lived. Mount Sinai was where he ran into the burning bush. Corinne?
Then Moses climbed up the mountain to meet with God. The Lord spoke to him on the mountain and said, tell this to the Israelites. You people saw what I did to the people of Egypt. You saw that I carried you out of Egypt like an eagle and brought you here to me. So now I tell you to obey my commands and keep my agreement. So if you do this, you will be my own special people. The whole world belongs to me, but I am choosing you to be my own special people. You will be a special nation, a kingdom of priests. Moses climbed down the mountain and told the people. All the people spoke at the same time and said, we will obey everything the Lord says.
Then Moses went back up to the mountain and told the Lord that the people would obey him. Then the Lord said to Moses, I will come to you in a thick cloud. I will speak to you. All the people will hear me talking to you. I will do this so that they will always believe what you tell them. Then Moses told God everything the people had said. And the Lord said to Moses, "Today and tomorrow you must prepare the people for a special meeting. They must wash their clothes and be ready for me on the third day. On the third day, the Lord will come down to Mount Sinai, and all the people will see me.
But you must tell the people to stay away from the mountain. Make a line and don't let them cross it. Any person or animal that touches the mountain must be killed with stones or shot with arrows. But don't let anyone touch them. The people must wait until the trumpet blows. Only then can they go up the mountain." So Moses climbed down the mountain and went to the people. He got them ready for the special meeting, and they washed their clothes. Reese?
On the morning of the third day, a thick cloud came down onto the mountain. There was thunder and lightning and a very loud sound from a trumpet. All the people in the camp were frightened. Then Moses led the people out of the camp to a place near the mountain to meet God. Mount Sinai was covered with smoke. Smoke rose off the mountain like smoke from a furnace. This happened because the Lord came down to the mountain in fire. Also, the whole mountain began to shake. The noise of the trumpet became louder and louder. Every time Moses spoke to God, God answered him with a voice like thunder.
So the Lord came down to Mount Sinai. He came from heaven to the top of the mountain. Then he called Moses to come up to the top of the mountain with him. So Moses went up to the mountain. The Lord said to Moses, "Go down and warn the people not to come near me and look at me. If they do, many will die." Moses said to the Lord, "But the people cannot come up the mountain. You yourself told us to make a line and not allow the people to cross the line to holy ground."
These are the things God told his people. "I am the Lord your God. I am the one who freed you from the land of Egypt, where you were slaves. You must not worship any other gods except me. You must not make any idols. Don't make any statues or pictures of anything up in the sky or anything on the earth or of anything down in the water. Don't worship or serve idols of any kind, because I, the Lord, am your God. I will be very kind to the people who love me and obey my commands. I will be kind to their families for thousands of generations. You must not use the name of the Lord your God to make empty promises. If you do, the Lord will not let you go unpunished."
You must remember to keep the Sabbath a special day. You may work 6 days a week to do your job, but the seventh day is a day of rest in honor of the Lord your God. So on that day, no one should work, not you, your sons and daughters, or your men and women slaves. Even your animals and the foreigners living in your cities must not work. That is because the Lord worked 6 days and made the sky, the earth, the sea, and everything in them. And on the seventh day, he rested. In this way, the Lord blessed the Sabbath, the day of rest. He made that a very special day.
You must honor and respect your father and your mother. Do this so that you will have a full life in the land that the Lord your God gives you. You must not murder anyone. You must not commit adultery. You must not steal anything. You must not tell lies about other people. You must not want to take your neighbor's house. You must not want his wife, and you must not want his men and women servants or his cattle or his donkeys. You must not want to take anything that belongs to another person.
So the 10 Commandments that we just read can be divided into two groups. I would actually personally say three, just because the fourth one is kind of in the middle, and it sits in the middle. The first three deal how we are to live towards God. The very first one being put God first. We look at idols. It talks about idols, and I think sometimes we go, "Hey, they're idols. We don't have idols. We don't bow down and worship things." But I know sometimes I spend a lot of extra time looking at that. And so we may not worship idols in the mystical, magical, sacrificing animals and things way, but we certainly have things that we put before God. These themes are repeated throughout Scripture. And then the fourth one is keeping the Sabbath. Number 5 is respecting your parents. Don't kill. The word actually there is don't murder. But I think in general, killing, not a great thing. Respecting marriage and commitment. Don't steal, don't lie, don't be envious. And of course, Jesus, in his discourse on the law, extended the coverage of the law from actual actions into thoughts.
Mhm. Yeah.
He said, "Hey, you know what? I tell you that even if you look at another woman, you've already committed adultery." When the people saw the thunder and lightning and heard the trumpet and saw the mountain in smoke, I missed that one. They trembled with fear. They stayed at a distance and said to Moses, "Speak to us yourself, and we will listen. But do not have God speak to us, or we will die." Moses said to the people, "Do not be afraid. God has come to test you, so that the fear of God will be with you to keep you from sinning." The people remained at a distance while Moses approached the thick darkness where God was. I really like this passage because I think sometimes we're afraid of approaching God. And I think the people missed out on an opportunity. And are there limits? And I think some of those limits have been broken by what Jesus did. But I think there are times where we don't approach the throne of grace the way that we have the way to. Quiz show!
We haven't done this for-
Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun.
We haven't had time to do this for a couple of weeks.
The 10 Commandments can be found in.
We're gonna go A.
Hey, you are correct. Moses went up to pray to God on.
Mount Sinai.
B.
Yep.
Okay, there we go. The people wouldn't go near the mountain because.
B once again.
Yep, B once again.
Good answer. Good answer.
Yep. How many commandments are about our relationship to God?
We'll take 3/4ish.
There you go. Yep. They say 3, I say 4. So then how many commandments are about our relationship to our neighbor?
Well, if it's 3.
The remaining.
The remaining. There you go. That would be 7/6.
Yeah.
God gave the 10 Commandments to.
The
C.
Prince of Egypt, i.e. Moses.
There you go. The 4th commandment is.
To honor your mother and father, correct?
No. Remember, there's
Also,
3 that were for God, then the one in the middle. What's the one in the middle?
Remember the Sabbath day.
There you go. That is number 4.
Okay.
Honor your mother.
Oh. They said it is that.
They're
I don't-
wrong.
I don't
I
think.
I think maybe it had it before it, but I think that when you group them together, maybe you, I don't know.
I don't know.